Okay. So, of the folks here, and who know, Lauren may join later. Does anybody have any special requests? Anything that you'd like us to work on specifically?
Yeah, I'm kind of run down, so I'm more into the like resty kind of positions.
Okay.
And I have a special request for dancing Shiva stretch.
Tell me what dancing Shiva is.
It's like
Oh, that okay. Yeah, I didn't know that had a name for it. we make up names. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll do that one. I like that one. That's a good one. I was actually doing that last night and feeling all kinds of things in my glutes. Anybody else have any special requests?
I'll just echo what Jay said about feeling run down. Same
Okay.
thing.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. All right. So I've been trying to remember to say this to everyone. So if you want to mute yourself and play your own music in the background, feel free to do that. I just can't, won't, because I don't want to pay for all that, all the licensing and whatever. So, but otherwise, feel free to keep yourself off of mute. And if you have questions while we're going through, let me know. But yeah, otherwise you can stay off mute if you like. So let's get started in your easy seated position. And remember, if you have tight hips, do sit on something to get your hips a little bit higher. I'm sitting on my folded blanket just to get my hips a little bit higher. Running in winter, just being cold, tends to tighten up my joints. And so I find that in the winter time, I'm using more props. And your primary focus in using your props for sitting upright is to keep your torso upright for space for the breath. That's your primary focus in yoga, is to create space for breath, and then everything else sort of follows from there. So take a moment to get yourself situated, sitting up nice and tall. And your chin is not necessarily parallel to the floor. You're lifting up from the back of your spine, the back of your skull, out through the back of your head. So this will put your jaw probably going at a downward angle. Eyes can be opened or closed. Notice your breath. You don't need to change anything. Notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. Notice if you feel any tightness in your jaw. And if you need to, open your jaw and close it again. And if you can't tell if your facial muscles are tightened or squinched, then you can lift your eyebrows, put them back down again. You have a lot of muscles in your face and attached to the back of your skull. And a lot of muscles that run down the back of your neck and attach to the tops of your shoulders and down your spine. So just trying to get those muscles to just drop and let go. We frequently in the wintertime have this sort of normal position of shoulders drawn up. So let's just work on letting those drop. And if you need to feel like you're exaggerating an engagement in the back body, like drawing your shoulder blades together in order to feel what it's like to drop the shoulders, then do that and just let go again. As you're breathing, allow your belly to expand on your inhale. And draw your belly in on your exhale. Pulling the belly button into the spine, feeling those abdominal muscles engaging as you exhale. Inhale, making space, belly expands so that all of your guts have some place to go, your diaphragm has some place to go. And on the exhale, pull the belly button in and almost feel like you're pulling it in and up behind your rib cage. So the breath is not passive right here. It's active. We're creating a purpose for the exhale. It's to push the air out. We're using abdominal muscles to do that. And even just the simple movement of intentional breathing starts to kick those abdominal muscles into gear, getting those just gently engaged. That starts to warm the spine. From here, let's go into our torso rotation. Big circles. See how wide you can go, perhaps, with your entire trunk. Thinking about not only the rotation of the spine, but what this is doing to your pelvis. And you're getting this nice tilt and tip to the pelvis that's also massaging all of the muscles that attach the hip joint and the top of the pelvis. When you feel like you've got nice movement in the bottom part of your spine, let's start to sneak up, moving into your waist. So we're not only getting some movement in the vertebrae of your spine, but working all of those muscles in the torso, front, side, and back muscles. And work your way up into your chest, seeing if you can feel the movement of your rib cage as something separate from the movement of the belly. If that doesn't make sense to your brain or your body, that's okay. Let's come back to center. Bring your other leg in front. Go big circles in the opposite direction. Notice the difference in your body going in this direction. I know I kind of say a lot of this stuff all the time, but these are just nice reminders that your body isn't symmetrical and the way that you use your body isn't symmetrical. Yes, we have the same stuff for the most part on both sides, but they're not all built the same way because of how we use it, because of all kinds of things. Let's move up the spine. Thinking about maybe how we're making space between all of our internal organs. So if you've been slouching all day, or even deeply engaging all kinds of muscles, we're just getting movement and space in the belly area. When you're ready, move up into the rib cage and the chest. Getting movement in your scapula, your shoulder blades, and even feeling any kind of movement, maybe slight, in your clavicles, your collarbones. Okay, let's come back to center, grab onto your shins, rock over your sit bones. Inhale, belly button forward, exhale it back. And if you're sitting on something, maybe this kind of movement is made easier because you're kind of falling off the front of your pillow or your blanket. Thinking about tilting the pelvis forward, lifting your tailbone up behind you. So if lifting your tailbone is sort of a strange concept to you in this, it might feel exaggerated, but that's another way of trying to get your brain to tilt your pelvis forward, is to lift your tailbone off of what you're sitting on. Bring your hands to your knees, inhale your chest forward, exhale it back. Working on opening up the chest and opening up, rotating open the shoulders and upper arms to get this nice, just gentle stretch on the pec minor muscles that get shortened because we slouch, but also we're stretching and opening all of these breathing muscles. On your next inhale, lift your chin to the ceiling, stretch your throat. On your exhale, bring your chin to your chest. Let's do that several more times. Follow your own breath. You don't need to follow me on this. You know what you're doing. As you lift your chin, feel like you're exaggerating, pointing your chin to the ceiling, just to get a stretch on that front muscle. Really try to work on getting the chin down to your chest. Get a stretch on those back muscles. And then the next time you find your chin down at your chest, keep it there. Drop your shoulders. Keep your chest away from your belly. Don't let yourself slouch. Deep breaths again. On your inhales, your belly expands, your ribs expand. Feel your chest lift and rise to meet your chin. On your exhale, your chest drops down, ribs draw in, belly draws in. That's your 3-part breath. And when you're ready for it, slide your chin over to the left. We're going to hang on to this here and take a couple of breaths. Keeping that chin pointed towards the left shoulder, keeping your shoulders dropped. Notice where you feel the stretch on this. Keep your chin against your chest as you slide to the right when you're ready. Notice if you are able to draw your chin further in this direction or less. For me, my neck feels tighter, pointing to the right shoulder. When you're ready, lift your chin up and over to the left. Make a big arch. Keep your shoulders dropped. If you need to sit on your hands, do that. Your chin is pointing towards the left. You're not touching your shoulder. Maybe do a gentle little rotation with your skull to point your right ear up towards the ceiling. Notice what muscles you feel there. You can play around with that sort of rotation where you have this deep stretch of the skull over to the left, and you're just rotating your head as if you're going to point your chin down to the floor. And then maybe see what it's like to slowly take your time and rotate your face up to the ceiling. See where you can go with that. Might not be too far. Who knows? And after you've played with that, rotate your chin back down, pointing towards your left shoulder. Let's go up and over to the right. Big reach, big stretch with that. Feel like you're over exaggerating it. Shoulders stay dropped. Pointing your chin towards the right shoulder. Start to press that left ear up to the ceiling. Little gentle rotation to the skull. Deep stretch in all those muscles down the side. Might even feel a stretch on some of your chewing muscles. And then start to play around with the rotation. So pointing your chin down towards the floor, perhaps, and rotating your head to look up towards the ceiling. See what you can do with that. And once your chin is pointed back down to the floor again, taking your time, bring your head back to center. And let's go slowly. We're not going to do big arm swings for this one. On your inhale, bring your arms overhead. And on your exhale, turn to the left. Right hand goes to the outside of the left knee. Left fingertips behind you on the floor, or maybe your arms are long enough that your palm is on the floor. Take a look down at your body and your torso. Make sure that your torso is perpendicular to the floor. You're not leaning back. You're not leaning to one side. You're upright. Shoulders are dropped. There's something about a twist, particularly a seated twist, where when in my mind I think of somebody who's like regal, because like you've got this like sort of proud chest and this opening that's going on, and you're sort of looking behind you. And you've got this nice upright torso. So I don't know why, but I always think of like a very proud, regal person twisting. Nice deep breaths. Keep your torso twisted and look over your right shoulder. So rotate that skull, rotate the neck. See if there's more space you can find in some part of your body. Maybe your arms can lengthen a little bit more, your spine can lengthen more, shoulders stay down. On your next inhale, bring your arms above you, facing forward. And exhale to the right. Let's take some time on this side, left hand holding onto the outside of the right knee. First few breaths of this are going to be a counter twist, so they may not be exceptionally deep. So take your nice deep breaths, moving your belly, moving your rib cage in order to help massage the vertebrae in the spine. Start to make your way looking back behind you. Again, take a peek, make sure your torso is perpendicular to the floor, you're not leaning back. Keep your torso twisted, look over your left shoulder. And unwind. Nice. All right, from here, you can keep your pillow or your blanket underneath you. Bring your legs out in front. Feet are flexed. We're going into a Paschimottanasana. Inhale, arms above you. And exhale, bring yourself forward and down. Just see what you can do. This is the first. We're going to do maybe a couple of these throughout the lesson. Maybe you can grab your toes, maybe not. Find wherever you go where your torso can stay as long as possible and you're not tipping at your rib cage, you're tilting at your hip sockets. So your Paschimottanasana may be a 90-degree angle. See what you can do about keeping your feet flexed, whether you're able to grab your toes or not. Nice deep breaths. So with Paschimottanasana, we're getting a deep stretch on all of the muscles in your back body. So usually I like to keep my neck nice and long in this, but I'm going to ask you to bring your chin into your chest. We're going to get a little bit more of a stretch on the muscles running down the spine. your spinal erector muscles. Deep breaths. The first breath in the pose is going to be a whole lot different than the last. Let yourself sink little by little into the pose. Your breath creates space. And on your exhale, you sort of just move into the space you just created. I feel like that's true of every single yoga pose. I suppose you could apply that to life. I don't know. See what you can do with that one. Okay, arms alongside your ears. Inhale, bring yourself up. And exhale, arms down to the sides. Go for a Janu Sirsasana. Bring your right foot in. And hug that knee in as close as you can so that when you open it out to the right, that knee is nice and sort of pinched shut, which is what we're looking for. Left foot stays flexed and your hips are parallel to the top of the mat. We're going to open this up here in a second. So I want you to start with your hips parallel to the top before we get sort of a different kind of angle. Inhale your arms overhead and exhale, bring yourself forward and down. See where your hamstrings and your psoas, and your piriformis and all kinds of muscles. See where your back body muscles are going to let you go in this. Keep that left foot flexed and see if you can keep your toes either pointed up to the ceiling or drawn back towards you, but try not to let that foot open out. Try to keep the kneecap and the toes pointing up. We're trying to make sure that we are engaging all the muscles in that leg to keep it upright, to try to sort of balance it out between the abductors and the adductors, the outside muscles and the inside muscles. Now from here, if you have some kind of a strap, let's use that. I have a bandana, going back to my good old days of using bandanas. Strap, bandana, belt, towel, around your foot. I'm going to have you grab on to the strap or whatever it is with your right hand. Open your torso up. Now, try not to pull this leg in. So when you have that strap against your foot, press into it with the ball of your left foot. So you're creating this resistance here. Open up, left hand goes behind you to work on this opening twist here. Keep pressing the ball of your left foot into that strap or whatever. Or if you're stretching and feeling good about it, if you're going to use just your hand, grab onto the pinky toe side of that foot, and your pinky toe is going to press into your hand. That's the resistance there. Drawing your left rib cage back. So in this kind of a twist, I actually use my left hand to draw that left side of the body open, to sort of remind it, like all twists start from the waist. Now, if you want to try to go a little bit deeper, take that left arm around behind you. Palm is going to face away from your body. So you're going to rotate that shoulder open a little bit. Do what you can. Maybe you can find the inside of your right thigh. I don't expect everybody to be able to do this. Just giving the option in case you can. But rotating this left arm behind you helps to open up that left chest just a little bit more. So even if the arm isn't fully behind your back, you're still getting a benefit from this. Okay, we get out the same way we came in. Left arm unwraps. Rotate towards that left leg. Let's do a little bit of Janu one more time. Just fold forward over the leg. Your nose goes to the inside of your leg. Bring yourself up. If you've got a strap, sort of keep it with that leg. So I'm going to open up the right knee. Now I've got this wide angle happening here in my hips. This time I'm going to grab on to that strap, bandana, whatever it is, with my left hand. That the sole or the ball of your left foot is going to press against that strap as you pull towards. So you've got this resistance, this isometric pressure that's going on, pressing with the ball of your foot, but you're pulling equally with your arm. Right arm goes out to the side. Reach it up to the ceiling, lengthen up. So feel as much length as you can make here. Now bending your right elbow, hand goes to the base of your skull. Open up, keep drawing this right elbow back behind you. Really work on opening up the chest. Okay, let's start to bend the left elbow down. So you're going to keep that resistance, that sort of traction going on. Pressing against the strap, pulling with your hand. The elbow is going to bend down towards your knee. That right elbow is going to continue opening up. Keep deep breathing. Belly expands and contracts. This may be strange for your body to try to breathe deeply in this, but I want you to try. Maybe you can continue to pull this left elbow down. So baby steps. Maybe there's not much space for you to go. Maybe your body isn't going to let you do a whole lot, and that's fine. Once you feel like you've got space that you can draw down into, sink into it, but don't force it. Now let's take that right arm and let's reach towards the left foot or the top of the mat. But keep opening your body up. So your arm may be still reaching up to the ceiling, or maybe you can keep that open chest and reach towards the top of the mat. Bring the fingers to point up towards the ceiling. Start to lengthen your body, reach up like you've got a friend pulling you up. Arms come out to the side and down. Let's bring yourself back into a Paschimottanasana. So both legs forward. We're going to balance the body out from all that. Arms out and overhead. You can use your strap for this or not. It's up to you. And draw yourself forward and down. See if there's anything to notice between the left and the right side of your body. Arms alongside your ears. Inhale, bring yourself up. And exhale, arms down to the sides. Okay, let's do that on the other side. I'm going to swing around. And if you need to, you stay with your pillow or your blanket underneath your pelvis to draw it up. Okay, left foot comes in. Get a nice tight knee there. Open it up. Let's go for a Janu. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, come forward and down. And we'll take a few breaths here. Your foot's flexed. Calf muscle is engaged. Quadriceps, hamstrings, the whole right leg is engaged. So it's not just laying there. The leg is actually engaged and active. Nice deep breaths. Okay, if you've got a strap or something, put that around the ball of your right foot, but hold on with your left hand. Spine is nice and tall, or you're holding on to the pinky toe side of your foot with your left hand. And then bring that right arm behind you, open up, and you're drawing the right rib cage back, opening up. Nice deep breaths. Belly moves, ribs move. Again, kind of think of that regal stance. You got the long neck, and you get a nice long neck by dropping your shoulders. Toes point up to the ceiling. Keep that right leg engaged. Right foot is flexed still. Let's see if that right arm can now wrap around your back so the right palm faces away from you. And you're working on drawing that right shoulder blade to the right, or maybe pulling it towards your spine. Maybe you can find the inside of your left thigh with your right hand. Don't worry if you can't. It doesn't make or break this pose. It's just someplace else for you to go if you've got the space for it. Maybe you can look over your right shoulder, completing the rotation of your spine. Then let's unwrap. Right arm comes around, torso to the front. Bring yourself down into Janu Sirsasana again. Nose points to the inside of your knee. Okay, bring yourself up. Let's get a nice wider stance here. Left knee draws back and open. So you've got this opening in your hips. Grab onto your strap now with your right hand and sit nice and tall. Pressing against the strap with the ball of your foot. Again, maybe your toes can draw towards you so you're getting as much engagement as possible here. Reach your left arm overhead. Nice long reach. Palm goes to the base of your skull. And focus on opening up your chest. That left elbow draws back, left shoulder blade draws back. And if this is as far as your body lets you go, so be it. That's fine. Nice deep breaths. Your belly's moving. And then take it upon yourself. Whenever you feel like you've got space to move into, do it. You'll eventually start to bend that right elbow. And keeping that tension between the ball of your foot and your hand pulling against your strap. Elbow draws down. And you're only going to go as far as you can still keep this open rotation of the chest. And eventually, start to reach that left arm away from you again. Maybe you can reach towards the top of the mat. Maybe that doesn't allow you to stay with this nice open chest, and maybe you're reaching up to the ceiling. Might be different on this side of the body too. So this, where we're working on stretching the intercostal muscles, the muscles between your ribs. You take nice deep breaths so we can stretch those muscles. You reach that left arm overhead, lengthen your body up. Left arm goes out to the side and bring it down. Let's go one more time into a Paschimottanasana. Both legs are out front. Inhale, arms overhead, and exhale, come forward and down. You can use your strap if you like. You can use your hands to draw your toes towards you. Arms alongside your ears. Inhale, bring yourself up. And exhale, arms down to the sides. Let's go for a little bit of Navasana boat pose. Okay. So you're on your sit bones. Ankles and knees are together. Balance on your sit bones. So I really want you to focus on the balance of your sit bones first before doing anything else. Hands are underneath your knees. If you need to, draw your shoulder blades together, opening that chest again. Make sure you can breathe. So this is your test to see if you're going to go further in this pose. And if you can't, that's fine. But on your inhales, your belly expands, ribs expand, your rib cage is nice and lifted, shoulder blades are drawing together behind you. So notice how nice and long your spine is before you change anything. Now, keeping your legs as they are, see if maybe you can bring your arms shoulder height, thumbs up, palms facing one another. If you lose your balance, hands go under your knees. If you start to slump and your chest goes towards your belly, hands go under your knees again until you can build up those abdominal muscles to let go. You want to keep as much length as you can in your torso. Take a check on those knees together, because we want to engage those deep abdominal muscles. This affects your transverse abdominis muscle, and that goes, I call it sort of your belt muscle. It's a low belt. It goes from hip bone to hip bone. Because if your knees open up, that actually makes it easier. We're not trying to make this easy. Okay, release, relax, sit up. Sit nice and tall. Lengthen those muscles. Relax your face, relax your jaw. We're going to do that 2 more times. Okay. Get yourself situated. Ankles and knees are together. Balance on your sit bones. Hands start underneath your knees. So I kept you there for probably about 10 or so breaths. I honestly wasn't counting. It was a long time, and I know that. We're going to hang on to it for a long time. There's nothing in yoga that says we have to only hold on for 5 breaths. I'm purposely making this challenging because you got to work on those core muscles. Okay, hands are under your knees. Everything's nice and lifted. You're breathing before you let go. Making sure that your knees and ankles are touching before you let go. Okay, see if you can let go. Arms shoulder height. It's entirely up to you if your shins are parallel to the floor. That's up to you, your balance and your posture. The more parallel your shins become to the floor, you might find that that tilts your pelvis and you're rolling back on your pelvis. So keep them down as low as you need to have an upright torso. Nice long arms, long torso. Keep breathing. Relax your jaw. And release. Relax all those muscles. Face, jaw, neck, all that stuff. All the muscles that should have been relaxed through there, let them go. Okay, let's do that one more time. Nice upright torso. Ankles and knees together. Find your balance. Find your posture. Find your breath. Okay, when you're ready, if you're ready, let go and keep yourself upright. If you need to grab onto your knees again before we're done with it, then that's fine. I'm purposely hanging you on a little bit longer just to get that extra challenge in there for your core muscles. You're probably also feeling it on your inner thighs, your adductor muscles, keeping your femurs upright. Your breath might be shaky, that's fine. Keep your chest open. And release. Nice job. Okay. Do one thing more before we go into the twist that Jay asked for, and before we go into Shavasana. Bring yourself to hands and knees. And then from here, bring yourself down to your forearms. Elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. Palms pressed together. Hook your thumbs to make sure that the heels of your hands come together and stay together. Need to come forward a little bit. We're going to step back into a lowered plank. Press your heels away. Now, I like this pose because of the upper body work because of the core work, but also I really like it because it's a nice stretch on my feet and my calves. Toes are curled under, press back with your heels as you lengthen out through the tips of your ears. Nice deep breaths. This is hard. And if you need to, touch your knees to the floor. But I want you to really focus on those deep breaths where the belly expands and reaches towards the floor on your inhale, and your exhale, you're pulling it into your spine. Jaw is relaxed. We'll do just one more breath. And release. Knees to the floor. Let's go back into a child's pose. You can have your knees wide, knees together. You can have your forearms stacked to put your forehead on your forearms if you like. All right. Bring yourself out of your child's pose and come onto your back. So, although I don't fully know the exact details of dancing Shiva, I am going to add something to this. So we're going to do this as partially a reclined eagle pose or Garudasana. So bend your knees, wrap your right leg around your left so that your thighs are crossed. Maybe you can wrap your foot around your ankle, maybe not. That's up to you and your ankles. If not, that's fine. You can just have your thighs crossed. Now, the way that we're going to make this into a Garudasana before we do the twist. So let's see here. Right leg is on top. So I'm going to have you put your left elbow inside of right and wrap your forearms possibly. So if you can't wrap your forearms and grab your hands, then at least have the backs of your hands pressing together. And if you need to, maybe hook your fingers or something like that. We're going to go into an eagle pose. We're going to draw the fingertips above your head. So if you've ever been in class with me where we did this as sit-ups, we're not doing sit-ups, but this is the stretch. So you're going to reach to the floor above you. Be mindful of your shoulders. Okay, bring your elbows down, open your arms, and then lower your knees to the left. So if you're particularly tight here, this might draw your right shoulder blade up. That's fine. I do want that right knee to try to get to the floor. Your legs are heavier than your upper body, so I want your legs to create this twist. Get this nice stretch in your low back and your IT band and your TFL, your tensor fasciae lata, which is the muscle that actually holds on to the IT band. So get that knee there and then work on opening up the chest. Deep breaths. Let the breath move you out of the twist a little bit. So on your inhale, maybe this unwinds your twist. On your exhale, that right shoulder blade can draw further down towards the floor. And double check and make sure that your spine is as long as it can be. Make sure you're not sort of crinkled up into this pose. Not only are we getting this nice stretch on the low back and the hip and the thigh, but we're also looking for that stretch in the chest, the upper chest, all the way down the right arm. Okay, bring your knees back to center. Unwind. Keep your knees bent. We're going to wrap the left leg around the right. Maybe the foot goes around the ankle. And this time, before you go into the twist, we're going to bring the right elbow inside of left, perhaps wrapping all the fingers or wrapping the wrists, and bring the fingertips to the floor above you. If possible, be mindful of that top shoulder, the right shoulder. And then bring the elbows down, open up, knees to the right, get that left knee to the floor if possible. See how far you can go with the legs. And then lengthen your spine and work on opening up that left body. Deep breaths. And see also if you can relax your legs. So I have a tendency in this to keep my, especially the right leg in this, on this side, tend to have a tendency to keep my legs engaged. See if you can relax your legs. And if it releases this sort of twist, that's fine. The wrapping of the legs, that's fine. And bring your knees back to center. Unwind. Bring your hands next to your pelvis, knees into your chest. Draw big circles on the ceiling with your knees. Go in the opposite direction. All right, place your feet on the floor. Let's prepare for Shavasana. So, Doug, you can go legs up the wall if you like. Anybody, you can go legs up the wall if you like. You can have your props underneath your thighs if you like. Set yourself up for your favorite Shavasana pose. You can even be seated upright if you like. Once you get yourself into your favorite Shavasana position, take a deep inhale, fill your lungs, and sigh. Let it all drain out. Take one more deep inhale and sigh. And find an effortless breath. Allow the floor to support your body and see if just right off the bat you can let go of any more muscles, any more tension. Maybe using your breath as a vehicle for dissolving tension. When you exhale, let it all melt. So let's purposely work our way up from the toes to the crown of the head, being mindful of each part, relaxing any tension in your toes, your feet, and your ankles. Noticing if there's anything that you can let go of in your calves and shins, your knees and your thighs. Now the big spot is the pelvis and the hips. See if there's anything more you can let go of here. Maybe give your hips a little bit of a wiggle. Soften your belly. And as we move up into the torso and the spine, see if you can find a little bit more length in your spine now that you've been relaxing a little bit. Soften the low back. Soften the ribs, front, back, and side. Soften your chest and your shoulders, your upper back. Let your arms be heavy. Palms, thumbs, fingertips. Soften your throat and the back of your neck. See if you can release anything, any tension or engagement in the base of your skull or the back of your skull. Let your jaw relax, teeth and tongue. Relax the muscles around your mouth and around your eyes. Soften your temples, your forehead, and the space between your eyes. See if you can release tension in your ears and your scalp. And let anything remaining drizzle out from the soles of your feet and out through the crown of your head. Before we come fully out of Shavasana, start to deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, again, let your belly expand, let your ribs expand. And this time, since you're breathing with your back against the floor, see if you can purposely breathe into your back body, like you're pushing into the floor with your back ribs because of your breath. And then intentionally inhale into your side ribs. Feeling your ribs expand into your shirt. And then feel your inhale expand into your chest and your front ribs, expanding and inhaling away from the floor. And then see if you can expand in all directions all at the same time. Intentionally. And then when you're ready, roll to one side. Take some breaths on your side. So we just really did some really deep breaths laying down. So give your body a chance to acclimate before you sit up. And when you're ready, bring yourself up into your easy seated position. If you need to sit on your pillow or your blanket to have a nice upright torso, do that. Take another deep breath, fill your lungs on your inhale, and blow it out. Pulling your belly button into your spine, completely empty. Do one more inhale, filling your lungs, but this time I want you to hold on the inhale. Take another sip in. Blow it out. Completely empty. Push out one more time. Let's do one more inhale. Fill up all the way. Take one more sip. And blow it out. Empty all the way. Push out one more time. And find your natural breath. Sit nice and tall. Lift the sides of your mouth. Think of something you're grateful for. Think of someone that you're grateful for. And release some positive thoughts and positive energy out to the universe. May all beings in the universe be happy and free, and may our actions and our thoughts contribute to their happiness and their freedom. Namaste, everyone. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening. As a reminder, so I sent out an email starting February 6th, I think, which is a Friday. We're going to start with AM classes. They will be 7:30 AM for you. And we will continue with the Tuesday 6 PM Eastern classes. So we're going to try that for 3 months. And then after that, if we need to add a class or change that up, then we'll do that. So then we'll try for that in May. So have a wonderful evening, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.